Hello folks, I would like to make a short video for my grade 8s, but this could be for other students in my other classes on building this cube together. And this is based off of an image I found which looks like this, and the idea is just a small little puzzle using pieces that we make in Inventor, and we assemble them together to make this cube. And the shapes themselves are not that complicated. Where things get a little difficult is the assembly part. But I will start this project from beginning to end and try to make it as clear as possible to follow. So let's start. Let's make a new one. I'm going to make some parts first, so some individual parts. And basically I'm just going to make these 10 millimeters by 10 millimeters for each size of a cube. So for this one, I'll make the L shape first, and I'll just go from left to right. So I'll make this guy 10 by 30, and then I'll just make a little L. I'll make an L on the bottom of that as well. So we'll do 10 by 10 here. So that'll be the L shape, and I'm going to extrude it. Perfect. Now I'd like to color these shapes. What I'll do is I'll select them and I'll go to the color, and I want to color this one purple. So I'll go to purple and try to match that as best as I can. I can change the hue a little bit as well. Doesn't matter really too much what your color is. So you can, once you've completed that, you should save that shape. So what I want you to do is I want you to make a folder called cubes and save that shape as I'll make another puzzle number 2. I'll make another folder because I'm going to start fresh here. So save this shape as purple shape. Just save them as the color that you're working with. So one thing I don't like about this is that if I put this together, it's hard edges. So I'm actually going to chamfer the edges with a 1 millimeter or 0.5 millimeter edge. And I actually need to select it again. There you go. So let's give a nice little chamfer so it looks a little bit nicer when we put it together. The edges are gray, so maybe I should have chamfered that first. So let's try this again. Let's try this again. There we go. Okay, and then I'll save that, and we'll make another shape. So we'll do another piece. I'm not going to do all, I don't think I'll do all of them. I might use some of the other ones that I made. So my other shape will be the Z shape. So I'll make center point rectangle here. This will be 20 by 10. And then we're going to do a rectangle from here. That's going to be 20 by 10. Finish that sketch, and then I can extrude both of these. There we go. We'll color that, and we need to color that teal. So let's go look for the teal. Let's try that again. Extrude it, and let's change the hue a little bit. That looks nicer. And same thing as before, I like to chamfer the edges, so let's go 0.5 millimeters. And let's chamfer this whole thing here. Okay, cool. So we'll save this one as the teal shape. Teal shape. Okay, I'll just make one more quickly, and then I'll use the other ones as my final. So I'll make another one here. I'll make this T block, the black gray T block, and this one is going to be center point rectangle, and it'll be 10 by 20. By 30. And then I'll do a rectangle. Sorry, I should actually I need to get back in that sketch to do the other rectangle. I'm actually going to use a center point rectangle as well, same as before. And what I'll do here is I'll just go 10 by 20 because I'm starting at the center and I'm dragging it out, so just double that is giving me the final shape I want. and I'll select this, all three of those. I will chamfer this first this time, so maybe I don't get a gray edge. Oops. Okay, and then I will also color this dark gray or black. Let's see if I can find something. There we go. Okay, and let's save that one as T-block. Black, gray, block. Cool. All right, I'm going to stop there. I'll use the other pieces I've already made earlier to make my final assembly. So I want to put the pieces into an assembly which is basically not the same as a part. So this looks a little different. It has place button, create button, which means you can create parts. You have constraints, joints. You can basically add parts into this area, and then you can also 3D model onto a specific part. But we're not going to do any 3D modeling here. We're just going to be placing parts and then rotating them, constraining them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a new file. It's going to be called a standard IAM file, which is for an Inventor assembly, I believe, model, and instead of a part file. And this is going to have the 3 cubes here. So this is what I want to start with now. And now that I have this blank space, I'm going to start placing the blocks that I made. So I made these 3 shapes here. I'll bring those in. And now I've placed these in here, but they're not in the orientation I want. So I'll show you a couple ways to rotate them in a second. What I want to do here is I'm going to start putting this together though. So I'm going to use the black-gray shape on the bottom, and I'm going to use that teal shape here and start attaching them together, and then I'll keep going from there. So this is not in the orientation I want. So there's 2 ways to do it that I know of. I can rotate it with the grip snap position and grab an edge and rotate it around 90 degrees. Okay, which worked in this case. Or I can delete it and I can place it back. When I place it back, I can, before I left click, I can right click it and rotate it around the axis that I want it to spin around. In this case, I want it to spin around the y-axis. So I'll rotate it around the y-axis until it's in the right position. That's the right position I want it to be. Same with this Z block. So instead of using the grip snap, which is slightly more difficult, I'm going to just delete it. I'm going to place it in. I'm going to place this one in, and I will try to place it in the orientation I want. So I want it long on this side and then long on the top. So what I'll do is I'll rotate this on the Z axis. Yours might be different though, on the X axis as well. And that's basically the orientation I want. So that's good. So I'll leave that there for now. What I want to do now is start constraining these together. I want to put these two, I'm just going to delete this for the moment. I want to start magnetizing these pieces together. So I'm going to use a constraint tool. And this is going to allow me to stick these parts together, or glue them together, magnetize them together, however you want to think about it. So you got 2 options. You got a mate here and flush. So I'm going to use the mate tool, which is opposing faces. I'm going to select this face and this face here. And now I need to lock it in place. So now it's gotten onto that. It's gotten into this plane of axes here. But I need to lock this surface to this surface. So I'm going to use the mate tool again here and rotate it to here. And now I'm going to line this up. So right now it's not lined up. It's sliding around. So I want to lock it from sliding. So in this case, I'll use this surface, this end surface here to this end surface here, and I'll use the flush feature for that. That was locked together. So now those things are locked together. I can rotate my screen, and those are together like that. And from here, it's basically the same thing. So I'll go grab that green shape, which I realize has a different fillet or chamfer, but that's fine. I'll go back to the old puzzles I made, and that is the dirty green. I'll click it in and show you the other way to rotate it again. So grip snap. This is the other option to rotate your parts. I'm trying to get it that orientation, so I need to rotate it this way as well. 90 degrees, there you go. And I'm going to place it right about here. So let's get the bottom surface to this top surface with the mate function. There we go. And then we'll get the flush of the front to the front, and then the flush from this to this. There we go. So that's basically locked together. Okay, now where things get a little tricky is when you get into corners, but you can just slide things out and rotate the screen to find where you're looking for. And the end goal is obviously to have something that looks like this, that's fully locked and puzzles pieces all fitting nicely together. So I hope that helps, showing you some of the methods to constrain and also place your shapes and rotate them as well. Make sure when you finish your assembly that you save it as the assembly file that you want it to be called, so cube, and this is, in my case, is number 2. Save it in that same folder. Make sure everything saves okay. Okay, good luck folks. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.